In this video, we'll try to understand how to record a macro. So a request has come, one of the friends, that how to record a macro. In this video, we can understand that. So in continuation to the macro I made yesterday, which is inserting rows, I'll just use that macro to give spaces. From there I'll take it forward. So I'm going to macros and I go to insert arrow, run the macro, and I found at each 10th or each 9th row, one extra row is added. Now I wanted to do a further activity where I wanted to select entire blank columns and then I want to highlight them. So this is what the analysis I wanted to do. We can do anything else. Just I'm showing you how to record a macro so that you will understand in a better way. So before recording a macro, you need to have this tab, developer tab. From 2010 Office onwards, you have this developer tab option in your Excel. To go there, to get this developer tab, go to options, select customize ribbon. When you go from the right hand side, all the main tabs, you'll get developer tab, which was unticked if you never used it. You have to just tick it so that you can start using. But if of course you wanted to have only few tabs like macros, record macro, etc., you can again go to options, customize ribbon, go to all commands, and then you have to go to record macro. You'll get it and just say OK, so that also will come. So accordingly your record macro option will come. So this is a point where you have to record the macro. So now I'm starting the recording macro. For that, first before doing that, is use always a relative reference. Why this relative reference is required, I'll tell you while I start teaching macros in detail. So I have now started record macro. I can give a name, say filtering. So while giving the name of macro, you always should make sure that it is not with spaces. If a macro name is written with spaces, it will throw an error. It will not allow you to record the macro. So always your macro name would be within the single word or with underscore, like this, not beyond that anything else. Any other special character is not allowed. Only underscore is allowed. Otherwise it should be in a single word. And then you can assign a shortcut key, but I should suggest that the shortcut key is little sensitive, and if you already predefined shortcut keys are there within Excel, should not contradict with that. So you should be fully learned about the shortcut keys before using. So I don't suggest now to use it. And you can give a description, say I want to filter. You can write anything here. So basically it's a description about that entire macro, what for this macro is. So I said OK. So now there is one button started here. So this button is actually a recording button. So your macro started recording. Now each step of the macro will be recorded. So while recording a macro, you should be very clear with one thing. Like you record your voice, whatever thing you do, if whether you sing, whether you sneeze, whether you gasp, whether you do any kind of sound, that sound is recorded without any fail. So just like that, while doing recording a macro, you make sure that you are using minimum steps. Otherwise each step is recorded. Macro is a step-by-step procedure, and it will not pick up from the middle. It will do whatever instruction you have given from 1, 2, 3, 4. It will take the instructions as it is. So if you minimize your actions while recording a macro, your VB script will be very simple and crisp, and you can understand what is happening there. So now I'm selecting the entire range. I'm just filtering it. Now I'm going to blanks, and then I have selected the area where the blank cells are there, and I've filtered. I have given a color. So this is all as recording. So this way any action can be recorded, and accordingly you can edit it. That can be that I'll explain in future courses. So now my recording is over. I am not going to do anything further. Just I want to do this activity whenever I create that. I run my first macro, I want to do this. Close. Now, if I open this filter, I can see that every 10th row is highlighted in a proper way, and it is a repeated activity. Whenever I do this activity, I just need to go there to developer tab. If I go to macro, there is one filtering one code is there. If you run it, it will automatically filter it. So now how to read the code? Right click, view code. So normally all the codes are recorded in modules. So I have just module is already there because we have already created earlier. So don't worry about it. Just go to module. When you create a macro, when you record a macro, automatically it is created in module 1 only. Here I have already created module 1 already, so that is why it is taken another module. So in another module, the module 2, it is showing filtering one macro, the name of the macro, and each word is actually started with a what is that option? I don't know, I forgot the name. So it starts with like this. So that means this word doesn't have any action in the macro, and then it is now telling you have selected the range, and you have selected what for you have selected. You selected for the auto filter, and you have selected one active cell. That means all active cells between A1 to A111 only active, that when you filtered which are actually appearing, those are called active cells. And it is some criteria as it is given. It is criteria is blank, and then you are giving a kind of color. This is a color code, offset 90, and then selection interior, Excel solid, and this is the color code, sorry, and then tint and shade is 0. You have not done anything except color, and then you are ending it, you close the macro. So this simple is that. And this code also can be written in a very simple way. When you learn macros, you can write this code without recording a macro. You can write this code very easily. Hope it will be helpful to you. If any questions, you can come back. Thank you.